Hi friends, this is Selvijang here. Welcome to my networking channel. Hope all are doing good. And today the topic I am going to discuss about how to configure IPSEC configuration in a Fortigate firewall. So as per the architecture, I connected two Fortigate firewall, port 1 and 2 by a physical port 1. So each and every firewall I has connected three different links. So one is a LAN link. So this end IP is 192.168.1.1 and 1.2. So other one is a LAN port. Okay, so the LAN end I have connected PC1 and PC2. So the PC1 IP address 10.2, PC2 is 20.2, and the gateway is 10.1 and 20.1. Okay. So what is IPsec is a Internet Protocol Security, which is used to secure the data sent over a public network. So you are able to see in this architecture there are two different private networks. So I'm connecting the two different private networks over a public network. IPsec is mandatory. So IPsec is used to secure the data, which works by encrypting and authenticating the data between the sender and the receiver, which is sent over a public network. So that is the purpose of IPsec. And the IPsec is composed of two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1 is an ISAC-MP phase, which is used to exchange the secret keys and authenticating the data, and the phase 2 is an IPsec phase, so which is used to protect the data which is sent to over a public tunnel. Okay, so that is the purpose of IPsec. So today what are the things I am going to do is, first I am going to configure the directly connected interfaces. So each and every firewall has three different interfaces. So I'm going to configure the directly connected interfaces. Then I am going to configure a policy. So why? Because for allowing from the WAN to the LAN communication, I need to configure a policy. Then the third part is we'll configure the IPsec configuration in firewall 1 and 2. Then we'll check the connectivity, whether the IPsec tunnel, site to site tunnel is established or not. Okay. So these are the things I am going to do. So prior to the configuration, the first and foremost thing, we'll configure this port 3. So this is mainly for accessing the GUI. So first let us configure the interfaces, which is designated for the GUI interface. Then after that, through the GUI, I'm going to show you how to configure the site-to-site VPN tunnel. Okay. So first let us go to the first firewall and let us configure the port 3. Okay. Admin and with the credentials. So now let us configure the port 3, which is designated for accessing the GUI of firewall 1. Okay. So the command is config system interface edit port 3, which is for the GUI interface. Then I'm going to assign this IP 84.50 for firewall 1 and 84.51 for firewall 2, right? So let us do a show command. So we have to set the mode. Okay, set mode is static, since I'm going to assign a static IP, then followed by set IP 192.168.84.50 followed by the subnet mask. Okay, then I am going to allow access. So I'm going to allow HTTP and HTTPS. Since I'm going to access the web of this particular firewall, I need to enable HTTP and HTTPS. Then let us save the configuration. So now let us view the port 3 configuration. Show system interface port 3. Okay, so we're able to see the configuration. So the similar configuration now let us enable for firewall 2 also. Then through GUI I'm going to configure this WAN and the LAN interfaces. Okay, so let us do one by one. Let us go to the second firewall and log in with the username and the password. Then let us configure the port 3. So config system interface edit port 3, since I'm going to configure port 3. Then change the mode to static, since I'm going to assign a static IP. Then set the IP. Set IP 192.168.84.51/24. Okay. Set allow access HTTP. Then let us save the configuration. So I have done with the port 3 configuration. Now I'm going to open the Chrome browser. Then let us access this firewall 1 and 2. Then we'll configure these interfaces, the remaining two interfaces, that is LAN and the WAN interface. Then we'll configure a policy for a LAN to WAN and a WAN to LAN communication. Then we'll configure the IPsec tunnel. So the configuring IPsec tunnel through the GUI is pretty simple. So I'm going to show you today how to configure via GUI. Okay. So I'm going to open the Chrome browser. Okay, so now let us access 192.84.50. So that is for firewall 1. Okay, so let us access now. So firewall 1, log in with the username and the password. Similar way for the firewall 2 is 84.51. Okay, so log in with username and password. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to configure the remaining two interfaces. This is WAN interface. The WAN interface IP is 192.168.1.1 and the other end is 10.1. That is port 2 is connected to LAN interface. So let us configure these two different interfaces for firewall 1 and firewall 2. Okay, through GUI. Then we'll configure the policy. So let us go to check, this is port 1, that is firewall 1. Go to network. Okay, click interfaces and now go to port 1, which is the WAN port. Okay, so go to the interfaces and go to port 1. So now let us configure the WAN port. This is WAN port and let us set the alias as WAN port. And now I'm going to assign a static IP. So that IP as per the architecture is 192.168.1.1. Okay. So 192.168.1.1/24. So already the ping is enabled. Just click OK. And the second interface is LAN port, that is port 2 and the IP is 10.1. Okay, so I hope you're following this. Go to port 2 and this is the LAN port and the IP is 192.168.10.1/24, then followed by the alias name. Let us set it as LAN port. So this will be easy when we are configuring the policy for allowing the LAN to WAN and a WAN to LAN communication. So now let us enable the ping communication. Just click OK. So we have successfully configured the first WAN interface and the LAN interface as per the architecture. Now let us go to the second firewall and I'm going to configure this port 1 and port 2, that is WAN and the LAN port. Okay, so go to the second firewall and configure. Okay, this is second firewall. Go to network interfaces. Okay, so the port 1 is designated for a WAN port. Okay, go to port 1 and change the role as WAN and the alias as WAN port. Okay, so now let us change the mode to manual mode and let us set the IP. This end IP is 192.168.1.2/24. That is a 24-bit mask. Now click OK. Already ping is enabled. Just click OK. And what about the LAN port? The IP is 20.1, right? So go here, go to the port 2. Okay, and change the role as LAN port, alias as LAN underscore port. And now let us set the IP 192.168.20.1/24. Just enable the ping communication. Okay, so now we are successfully done with the LAN and the WAN port for both firewall 1 and 2. So if we want, we can just view the configuration. What the command is: show system interface port 1 for WAN port, port 2 for LAN port. Okay, so now let us do a ping from this particular interface to this remote interface. So the command is execute ping 192.168.1.2. I am able to reach, and from the firewall to execute ping, the remote interface is 192.168.1.1. So that also I am able to reach, and let us ping these two interfaces 10.1 and 20.1. Show system interface port 1 is a port 2 is a LAN port. Okay, so execute ping 192.168.10.1. so this is for just for testing purpose, and the port 2 show system interface port 2. Okay, so just do execute ping 192.168.20.1. I'm able to reach. So now let us configure these two hosts, PC1 and PC2. Both are entirely different networks. So this IP is 10.2 and the gateway is 10.1. Let us go to PC1. Okay, go to putty, just click OK. So the IP 192.168.10.2/24 and the gateway is 10.1. This is the way we can assign for a PC. So now let us ping the PC IP. So 192.168.10.1. I am able to reach. Okay, and now let us go to the second PC, that is PC2. Okay, so go to just right click and console. Okay, just right click, custom console, just change to putty IP 192.168.20.2/24, 192.168.20.1. Okay, so now let us ping the gateway 192.168.20.1. So I'm able to reach the gateway also. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to configure a policy. Why? Because so now let us do a ping from this particular PC to this particular WAN interface. I cannot ping. So that is a reason for the policy. So just do a 1.1. So I can't ping. Why? Because we need to allow a policy for two policy I need to create. First policy for allowing from the WAN to LAN and the second policy for LAN to WAN in both firewall 1 and 2. Then let us do a ping communication. Okay. So let us go to the firewall 1. This is a firewall 1 and go to the policy. So here just click policy and objects, click IPv4 policy. So by default an implicit deny policy will be there. So just I'm going to create new and let us name the rule as 1. WAN interface WAN port to LAN port and the source should be all. Okay, that is for all I'm giving. Destination also I'm giving all and the service. So I can give specific service or I can simply give all. Okay, so just I'm giving all and just click OK. So these are the for WAN to LAN communication and the second rule is for LAN to WAN communication. Okay, just go to create new and the second rule is for LAN to WAN communication. Source I'm giving as all, destination is all, schedule is default as always and service also I'm going to give all and just click OK. So the similar firewall policy I need to create for the second second firewall also. Okay. So how to view the firewall policy is show system. Okay, show firewall policy. Show firewall policy. It will show the two policy, that is policy 1. So the source interface is port 1 and the destination is port 2. This is like WAN to LAN port and second one is for LAN to WAN communication. So this is a policy and now let us create the policy in the second firewall also. Okay, so just go to policy and objects, click an IPv4 policy. So by default there is an implicit deny policy. So that is the reason we need to create two policy for allowing the communication. Okay, so let us name the rule as 1, WAN port, LAN port. Okay, source is all, destination I'm giving as all and service should be all. Just click OK and also now let us add the second service also, that is for LAN to WAN communication. So this is for WAN to LAN. Go to create new. Second rule for LAN to WAN communication. Let us give the source as all and the destination as all. Service should be all and just click OK. So if you want to customize a specific service, you can do. So in this particular thing, I'm giving us all the service, right? So now let us, what I'm going to do, now let us do a ping from, previously it was not pinging, right? So now let us do a ping from PC1 to this particular thing. 1.1 I am able to reach and also I'm able to reach 1.2. Okay, so let us now reach this particular interface. Okay, so let us reach the 20.1. So I'm not able to reach. It is showing destination unreachable. Okay, so let us leave like this as of now. Let us now do a ping from PC2 to this interface and this also. Okay, so let us go to PC2 and ping 192.168.1.2. I am able to reach 1.1 also. I am able to reach, but I can't reach 10.2. Okay, so for that what I'm going to do, the third part, let us configure the IPSEC. Okay, I'm going to create the IPSEC tunnel between site 1 and site 2, that is firewall 1 and firewall 2. Then let us initiate a communication and we'll check the IPSEC connectivity. So this IPSEC connectivity configuration through Fortigate firewall is pretty simple. So how to do that is go to VPN configuration. So go to VPN. I'm going to create the site-to-site VPN through this particular wizard, IPSEC wizard. So just click this wizard and VPN setup. So the name should be, let us name it as site1. Okay, so it is a site-to-site VPN. Okay, I'm connecting two different private networks over a public network. So this is site-to-site by default and the remote device also Fortigate firewall. So if the remote is Cisco, I have to configure a Cisco. So now let us go to next and the remote IP. So the remote IP from this architecture, it is 1.2, right? So since you also check, it is a Fortigate firewall 1 and the remote IP is 1.2. 192.168.1.2. So 192.168.1.2. Then let us give the pre-shared key. So just I'm giving some pre-shared key. Okay, let us give it as 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so just I'm giving like this and now click next. So now it will ask for the local interface. So the local interface is this interface. You have to give port 2. So let us give it as port 2, that is LAN port. Automatically take the local subnet. And the remote subnet is this interface. What is it? 20.1. Okay, so that is a remote interface. So just go here and give 20.1. So 192.168.20.0/24 and just click create. So now the VPN has been set up in the firewall 1. So similar manner, I have to set up the site-to-site VPN from firewall 2 to firewall 1. Okay, so just go here and go to firewall 2 and click the VPN. So click VPN and IPSEC wizard. Okay, and name the site as site 2. This is site 2 and okay, now click next. And the remote IP address from site 2 is 192.168.1.1. Okay, so now let us give it as 192.168.1.1. So it will automatically take this WAN interface outgoing port. So now let us give the pre-shared key 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'm giving it as pre-shared key. Just click next. And the local interface should be port 2, this interface. Okay, so go here, that is LAN port, and now the remote automatically took this local interface, that is 192.168.20, and the remote will be 10 dot network, right? So now let us add it. 192.168.10.0/24 is a remote subnet. Now let us create. So now I have created the tunnel from both firewall 1 and firewall 2. Okay, so how to view the configuration is, let us go to monitor and just click the IPSEC monitor. Okay, so just here click IPSEC monitor. You are able to see the site is still down. So go here, go to monitor and just click IPSEC monitor. Still it is showing down. So what I am going to do is, now I am going to initiate a communication from this interface to this PC 10.22. Let us ping the remote PC. Okay, so now let us ping the remote PC. So I'm able to ping from PC1 to PC2, and also I need to ping from PC2 to PC1. Previously I was not in a position to ping. So now after configuring these three things, I have configured the directly connected interfaces, then I configured the policy, then we have configured the site-to-site IPsec, then I'm able to ping from this PC1 to PC2. So let us do a ping from PC2 to PC1. So that also I'm able to do. So now by the time the tunnel should be up now. So now let us check. See, I'm able to see the tunnel interface are coming up from site 1 to site 2. Both the tunnels are up. Let us check from here also. Just refresh it. So I'm able to see the tunnels are up. So now let us do a ping. You can see it will be increasing. Okay, so it was, let us check from here also, PC2 to PC1, the remote interface. So now you can see here it will be increasing. Previously 1.36, there you can see the incoming and the outgoing data are incrementing, right? So that means the site-to-site IPsec tunnel is working properly in case of Fortigate firewall 1 and 2. So this is how you can configure the site-to-site IPsec tunnel. So how we can check the tunnel statistics from the command line prompt is, just log in and just give get VPN, okay, IPsec tunnel status, or you can give summary. So it will show the tunnel status, and also you can give this tunnel details also. So you're able to see the tunnel detail. The tunnel is already established and you can see all the details. Okay, so this is how. And our other statuses you can do diagnose IKE. So you can see like this also, diagnose VPN IKE status. It's showing IKE is already established and the IPsec is also established. So these are the two phases and you are able to see the things. And also you can also check from firewall 2 also. Okay, so just log in. You're able to see it's already in established mode. So there are two commands. You can either you can do get VPN. Okay, you can do the get VPN and IPsec status, or you can see the, so you can see here like phase 1 and phase 2, or you can do the summary. Okay, so these are the two commands you can check for. So it is a command is get VPN IPsec tunnel details. You can see the particular tunnel is established or not, right? Or also you can see the another command, right? So the other command is diagnose VPN IKE status. So that will show the tunnel is established or not. These are the two phases. First is an IKE phase and an IPsec phase. So for a quick summary, what are things we have done today is, first we have configured the directly connected interfaces. First you configure the GUI interface, and through GUI you configure the LAN and the WAN interface for both firewall 1 and 2. And the third part, I configured a policy for allowing from a LAN to WAN, WAN to LAN and LAN to WAN communication for both firewall 1 and 2. Then third, I have created a IPSEC site to site IPSEC from firewall 1 and 2. Then we have checked the connectivity and we check the tunnel statistics. So how to monitor the statistics is, go to monitor and just click the IPSEC. It will show the tunnel is up or down. Okay. So this is how you can configure the site to site IPSEC tunnel in a FortiGate firewall. And I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. Thanks and have a wonderful day. Thank you.